I'll just put in the sound effects in post. I'll still play the theme song so we know when that ends, but all the other sound effects I'll just do afterwards. It's easy enough. They're short.
As long as we
do you need me to mouth any sound effects? Like I can do a mean like like whatever you need. Morning
those are pretty much
stuff.
the only ones we have. That's perfect. Yeah.
Is that a donkey or something?
I'm not sure what it was supposed to be, but yeah,
we'll go with that.
Not the first time I've heard that I sound like an ass.
Perfect. All right, Danny, can we please have a one-word prompt?
Wait, did you start recording?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we got all the donkey stuff. You're good.
We got the donkey.
That's the prompt. The prompt is donkeys.
Okay.
Donkeys. All right. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Have you guys seen the Banshees of Inisherin? There's a big donkey comes into play. Have you seen that movie?
What?
Oscar
What
nominated?
No.
The Irish one? Oh, it's on HBO Max.
Oh, the Irish one. That's all I need to know.
It's good.
Okay.
There's a big donkey. It's sad. No, I won't spoil anything, but it's worth a watch. Just
Does
for
the donkey die?
Yeah.
Oh, God damn it. Hey, welcome to the Overtalking Podcast with your hosts, Ken and CJ. Say hi, CJ.
Hi, CJ.
Starting off on a downer, killed the donkey right away. This is the show where we talk over TV shows and movies as chosen by our guests. And this week we watched Chainsaw Man.
Yours was better.
That's it.
There's a great convo between Jamie Lee Curtis and Colin Farrell where they're discussing the Banshees of Inisherin and Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's on YouTube.
Oh.
It's good. Now, Oscar winner, Jamie Lee Curtis.
I know. She gave a shout out
Finally.
to all the genre movies she's been in. Yeah, I know. Thank God. It's great. I am very happy for her.
About dang time.
Did you watch the Oscars?
No. I watched the monologue on YouTube, and that's it, I think. And maybe that. I knew she won. I saw some snippet of her winning. That was like a 30-second clip or something, but no.
That's more than me. I've seen still images, and that is about it. But
And I'm going to butcher his name. Ki Hui Kwan. I think I maybe got that close. I saw his acceptance speech. That was very heartwarming.
Oh, nice. I do want to look that one up at least.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's great.
Yeah.
And what didn't Harrison Ford give him the award to, which is awesome?
They like hugged afterwards or something. There's some picture, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just go look up any interview he
You
does.
have no idea what's happened.
Yeah, you got to watch
He
the
always
video.
gets like really teary, right? Like he gets really emotional.
He's just so personable. He has like great energy. He just seems he's just very lovable. Watch him on Colbert. It's highly recommend.
Cool.
Hey, and speaking of lovable.
Oh,
wait, me?
Our guest this week, returning to the pod, is Danny from the very active Double Murder Podcast.
I lovable how often we do episodes. And by that, I mean this podcast.
These episodes.
the only one that you have done in a couple of years.
Yeah, as is typical these days, I've done a podcast. It's great. You can find it. All the episodes are available. Double Murder. Search for it wherever you get podcasts. Presented by BloodyDisgusting.com, the largest horror movie website in the world, and also growing horror production magnate. Because they're buying and distributing and now directly producing so many movies, some of which I like.
I know.
Some of which I don't. And that's okay, man. That's
what have
amazing.
you seen of theirs that you like lately? Is it VHS or
lately?
something else?
Lately, not much.
Ouch.
I didn't think Terrifier 2 was very good. But like I'm happy that it exists.
Yeah.
But I think I got kind of swept up in like the hype of it and just realized like, oh, it's just the reason this is cool is because it's a wide release, schlocky C-level genre movie.
Yeah, the fact that it got a wide release is crazy in and of itself.
Yeah.
I have a quick date to share with you. It's June 1st, 2020. Do you know what date that is?
I can guess.
The last time you put out an episode.
That's right. Which one was that? Do you see what the movie is? movies.
Resolution versus The Endless.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah.
that's pretty good. Yeah.
Do you know about that series?
No clue.
I forget what those got. Yeah, check out those movies. Check out
Benson
the
and
subsequent
Moorhead.
movie. Thank you. I always forget their names. It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Nah, not really.
They're pretty cool indie, semi low budget filmmakers.
They just came out with a new one called Something in the Earth, which was okay. I don't know. Wasn't my favorite, but it was good.
But I also Ken, I think you just need to go to YouTube and look up like Oscar highlights. Like this was the first year in forever like I gave any shits at all about the Oscars, and I think they did a pretty cool job with it.
Oh, okay, that's good to hear.
Yeah, like the different acceptance speeches you guys already talked about. Dope. Did you guys talk about Brendan Fraser?
No, did he win? I didn't.
Hell yeah, he won. It
nice.
It was a little hammy, his speech, but also like sweet and adorable and pretty great. I mean, like who doesn't fucking love Brendan Fraser? You know,
he's the best. Yeah. I probably won't ever watch The Whale because it's gonna make me cry for sure, and I don't want to do that. But good for him.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of crying, you guys been watching that Last of Us?
No, another show I've just accepted. Not gonna watch.
I'm halfway
It's gonna
through.
make me cry.
Yeah. But I've enjoyed my weekly cry time.
Yeah, I full on sobbed at the Ron Swanson episode. That was
Jesus, dude.
That got me.
I was sitting there. I swear to God, I was turning to Steph and be like, "Don't you fall in love, Ron Swanson? Don't you fall in love?"
I just saw reaction videos on Instagram of like people watching that episode, just like openly weeping like crazy. I was like, I guess I will not watch the show.
Here's my take. We've been through a lot lately as a species, as a planet. We're still going through a ton, and I feel like we're so exhausted that it takes what in any other situation I would say is emotionally manipulative programming to like elicit a reaction out of us. And I'm not judging that. I'm just saying it is. And I sat there and watched the whole thing. I thought it was really well made. I thought it was good. It's not my favorite thing on earth. It's not like fucking Game of Thrones for me, barring the last couple of seasons. But like, I thought it was great.
That's Game of Thrones. Another show. I sort of was like, I'm just gonna skip this one, and I can just ignore all the cultural stuff going on.
Bro, if I'm being honest,
skip, though.
I don't know that one's for you.
I did watch the first season or two, and then I stopped for a couple weeks, and then I went back to it, and I couldn't remember. They mentioned 50 characters an episode. I was like, I don't know who anybody is anymore. I'm giving up.
I can get that. Did you guys watch The Willow show?
No, isn't that canceled already?
Yeah. I'm going to tell you something. I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I thought highly recommended. This should have been a different episode. We'd do another one with Willow. Highly recommended. You don't have to watch the movie, the original movie, although the original movie is pretty great too. Maybe that's just my childhood nostalgia speaking, but it's pretty great. I thought it was really good. This fun, anachronistic, fantasy, magical thing. I don't know why they can't. I mean, maybe nobody watched it. I thought it was fucking great. Oh well.
I know I didn't. So
yeah,
that might be why.
Two people here that did not help.
Yeah. So suddenly I'm starting to understand.
Barely heard of it. It's like, oh right, that's a show.
Oh, and I got one bone to pick. I've been waiting to pick this bone. I'm so glad you guys asked me to be on so close to Valentine's Day. I loved your episodes. I really think you missed the boat in dedicating like February and like date night movie, whatever, to talking to women about why they love true crime shit.
Because they want to learn what to look out for.
I would love to. I would love to know more about that.
We forgot to follow up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, there's always going to be another date movie month.
It's already our loosest theme anyway.
I know. Yeah. I got to write that down. I'm going to do it right now. And
I think it's time that you take this podcast and make it more of a sociological exploration of the human psyche. I mean,
that sounds like us, right? Like something we normally talk about off the show.
One could argue that it already is that.
yeah. But I don't know. It's not always great when you do that unintentionally. When you become an example.
Right.
I think it already just is an insight into us.
Speaking of diving into people's psyches, segue. I think we got some emails that really just harp on that, right?
Yeah, we have several emails. Can you read the first one from February 22nd?
Yeah. So we actually got two. So let me read the very first one. Can't say who this is from, really. The email address is impossible to read, but it's from some guerrilla mail account, which I didn't even know was a thing. But it just says, Ken is so cute. Does he like to dance? I imagine him is a ballerina. There are 23 strange toilets, ha 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 ha, and then a link to a weird travel blog about 23 strangest toilets in the world. Bye! And that's the whole email that we received. CJ, do you want to follow up on the second one?
Yeah, and the next one, the subject line is I forgot, and the email reads, CJ cute too. Bye! So I appreciate that. I don't like to be forgotten.
I'm glad he was, or whoever it was inclusive.
Yeah.
And then I think, so that was a while ago, right? That was February 22nd.
Yeah.
And then last week, we got a couple more.
You can take the next one.
Next one, same person. Subject line is Ken cute. And it starts out, Ken cute? Look at the boats. And then a random blog to the world's weirdest and spookiest boats. That you, I love you. And that's it.
Have you clicked the link? Are they spooky?
Yeah, I'm just glad we're spending the time to read these on air. It's really, really worthwhile.
I got to say, these boats are pretty weird.
They're pretty weird. Some are spooky.
There's like one spooky one, mostly weird.
CJ, do you agree, though? Is Ken cute?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay, thank you. I need that validation from you, CJ.
I just want to chime in.
Please.
Ken as a whole is cute. Beard is looking excellent these days, man.
I agree.
Thank you.
The salt and pepper, I think, comes in like real nice. Yeah. Excellent work, dude.
I'm
handsome, folks.
Growing my beard almost as long as you at this point. So I can see why you might.
I think you really misunderstand the weakness of my chin and how far up it is.
Next email, subject line. Did you see Cars 2? Body of the email. I love Cars 2. Toolman Steve watched Cars 2. Much better than Citizen Khan. And then it signed off with, Ken cute. This person really thinks you're cute, Ken. And I don't blame him.
Okay, and then we got another one. It was back-to-back emails.
No, I responded to them.
Oh, that's your response. Okay, great. So the subject line for this one is, remember Gatorade? And the body says, Gatorade. I love you. That's the whole email.
And I decided to finally give him a response, and I wrote, it's not good for you. Too much sugar. Which is
no
true.
reply.
No reply yet. We'll keep everybody posted.
I have a guess of who this could be, but there's no way to tell.
There is no way to tell.
Man, I cannot wait for the Netflix documentary about Ken getting stalked and murdered.
Yeah. We had an issue with that like very, very early on. Do you remember that?
Yeah, well, even halfway through, I think a friend of Lauren Showens was kind of a stalker too. Remember
that? Yeah, I think so.
Because I don't remember what you're referring to early on.
It's like years ago.
Okay.
But anyway, if you want to tell Ken that he's cute, you can email us at overtalkingpod@gmail.com. We'll read it.
Great.
And take it from me. Cute as a button.
Agreed.
Thanks, guys. Y'all look pretty cute yourselves.
Oh,
just saying.
Thank you.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of cute people, segue. We got to talk about Chainsaw Man. It's pretty cute.
Denji's cute.
It's pretty cute.
Denji. Miss, whatever her name is. Anyway, we'll get into all of it. Chainsaw Man and more coming up on the Overtalking Podcast.
Denji here is a human. However, he can also turn into a devil. Wish they'd let me dream, at least for a little bit.
You have two options. Either you die by my hand as a depraved devil, or you allow me to keep you as a human being.
Knuckle down and wise up to this job or you'll die.
All right, on your knees, mortal scum! You stand in the presence of power! I hate humans with a passion, and the same goes for devils.
Just dreaming of a normal life is enough to keep me going. But I don't even get to have that much.
And we're back on the Overtalking Podcast, joined once again by co-host of the Double Murder Podcast. It's Danny, and we're talking about Chainsaw Man. Danny,
Yeah.
that was supposed to be a chainsaw. That one wasn't clear.
Yeah.
Oh, that was pretty.
Oh, we got it.
Yeah.
Thanks. My chainsaw is also my motorcycle, but
Okay. That could be an anime. But we'll get into that one.
yeah.
Danny, we're going to put 30 seconds on the clock for you to describe for someone who's never heard or seen the anime show Chainsaw Man, which is probably a decent number of people, what it's all about.
Yeah.
Ready to go.
And because of that, I'm actually going to try this time. Chainsaw Man is a story of a down on his luck dude. And by down on his luck, I mean his parents have been murdered. He was orphaned at a young age. And he's indebted to the mob. And in a classic tale, as old as time, he meets up with this little devil. So devils are a thing that exists. They're all just like monsters that exist.
3.
And he and the devil become one.
Die.
One becomes Chainsaw Man.
And hilarity ensues.
Yeah. Got the origin story in there, at least. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't talk at all about him working for the government, but hey, mafia, government, same thing.
That's right.
He eventually, we'll fill in the blanks. So, he eventually goes and he works for the government to hunt down and kill devils. And then there's a even deeper plot that happens later in the season. Before we get too far into it, I need to confirm, have y'all finished the season?
Yes.
Wait. Tell me real quick, how many episodes are in the season?
9. A
Okay.
weird number.
Then yes, I have.
Okay. It ended and I didn't realize it was over. I don't know if that happened with y'all, but I didn't think it was the last episode. And I was like, oh, I guess there's no more. But that was it. Okay, so let's not get in too deep into spoilers yet, but maybe we will later on. But yeah, Denji is a guy who has a ripcord in his chest and he can pull it and chainsaws split out of his head and out of his arms. And he kills devils that way. And that's it.
Hey, Ken, there are 12 episodes.
Yeah.
Oh, motherfucker.
So maybe that's why you were confused.
Well, then, yeah. Okay, that explains it. Well, then, please don't spoil the ending because I haven't got there yet. What the hell?
Like, that doesn't sound right.
Yeah, I'm like,
The last thing-
there were more, but
Yeah, and the ending feels like an ending. Like, it's over.
Then I am so excited that I have more Chainsaw Man to watch after this. The last thing I saw was they caught the guy who he was part of the mafia and he pulled out a gun and shot at Denji at one point.
Yeah.
And then he could also turn into like Sword Man, basically.
They
caught him and then they were kicking him in the balls a bunch. That was the last episode I saw.
That's Samurai Sword.
yeah.
Yes.
Which, I don't know if we said so far, the main character's name is Denji. So if we say that, that's who we're talking about.
It is.
He is Chainsaw Man.
He is the titular Chainsaw Man. Yeah, so this is a world where devils exist. And they all, it's whatever, and then the word devil, that's kind of their thing. So we have the gun devil.
And they exist they exist based on people's fears. So the strength of the devil it's a manifestation of human fears, and the strength of the devil is directly proportional to like how afraid people are of them, of that thing. So yeah, gun devil, very scary. People are afraid of guns. Other devils, maybe not as much because they're not as afraid of whatever it is they are.
I can just rattle off a bunch. You have Angel Devil, Bat Devil, Eternity Devil, Fish Devil, Fox Devil, Future Devil, Ghost Devil, Gun Devil,
Chainsaw Devil.
Chainsaw Devil. That's right. The little cute Chainsaw Devil. That's basically like kind of like if a dog and a chainsaw were combined.
It's really adorable. Yeah.
Yeah. Tomato Devil. Yeah. That's who he kills in the first episode.
I do hate tomatoes.
Right. Pretty scary.
I've come around to on them. I used to not be a fan, and I like tolerate them now.
No, gross.
They are slimy and gross. I agree.
The fruit of the devil.
It is red.
True. Yeah. Okay, who suggested we do this episode? Was it me? Or was it CJ? Okay. CJ, why Chainsaw Man?
Yeah, wait a minute. I thought you said this whole show is about the guest chooses. I don't know.
Yeah,
Not lately.
not always.
Because it came up in conversation.
Yeah.
Last time we did it, and I'm glad you did this and gave me a reason to like watch and really think about this. But CJ, why are we talking about Chainsaw Man?
Because I came across it from a different podcast, which I will not name because they don't get free advertising.
Hell yeah.
But they sort of do like a watch along anime podcast as sort of like an addition to this other podcast they do. And they mentioned the show and they were starting to talk about it. And I was like, oh, this sounds very cool. I'm going to check it out. And then I sort of watched it with them. So I would watch an episode, listen to them talk about just that episode, watch the next one, listen to them talk about it, and like fell in love with the show through that way. And it's really entertaining and way different than anything I've seen before. I feel like I've just sort of started to dip my toes into anime in recent years. So a lot of it's still like very new to me. So yeah, it's just very entertaining. They really know how to like end an episode. There's so many twists throughout. Definitely episodes where it ended. I was like, wait, how can you have a next, how can you do that? And just like confused, but they pull it off. And then you watch the next one and you're just like, holy shit, like this is crazy. How are they doing this? And yeah, kind of lovable characters to follow along too. Like Denji is so down on his luck that he just wants like basic human things. He's so happy, like just food, like just getting to eat a meal is like heaven for him.
Yeah, and along those lines too, guys, this anime is a little horny. Yes or no?
It's very horny.
Thank you for bringing it up.
I'm starting to see that at least the animes that I've been watching, they're mostly horny. Like a lot of them, so far the ones I've watched are pretty horny.
We might have to.
That is the case with
for us to dig
vast
into.
majority of them.
Thank you for bringing it up because it's funny, man. Like this anime has like highlighted the thing I like the most and the thing I like the least about modern anime. The thing I like the most is, man, this animation is top notch.
Yeah,
the action in this show is fucking cool. It's dope to watch, and it reminded me of my first days watching anime. The first times like I ever encountered it, date myself, like on like some UHF channel, late at night on like a Friday night where they would, show like a half-hour clip of like doomed megalopolis and stuff, and I was like, I've never seen anything like this. This is amazing. So like that's how cool the action and all that. And what's not cool, and what is my least favorite thing about modern anime, is how fucking horny it is. Like it's one thing to have characters that are let's say inhumanly proportioned in your show, right? And there's plenty of shows like that, and there's plenty of shows that have like a little wink and nod to the audience where like, one character, whenever he sees the hot chick, like it's a nosebleed and like, whoa, and like, and that's it. This is like directly horny. I mean, like Denji's apparent like main motivation throughout a good portion of this is getting to touch a boob, right?
Literally.
This is in no way, shape, or form a metaphor. This is literally that.
Nope.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, Makima, okay, like the boss of this government group that he ends up working for. It's this like really kind of clear sub-dom relationship. that like it is just so uncomfortable and gross because like I'm not trying to talk shit, but we all know that there are some anime fans who are, let's say, not as up to speed with modern society and archetypes. It could basically, I'm afraid that it's fucking egging on the wrong people, you know. And it just like it makes shit so hard. Like I have a hard time recommending this to friends and other people because it's like, hey, there's all this like cool shit, but like it's so fucking horny. There's so much anime bullshit you have to like look past. But I'll also say, and Ken, CJ, I'd be curious what you think on this. Did you notice that like I would say halfway through, Ken, you might say 3/4 of the way through, kind of halfway through this season, they just kind of drop all that. They don't really talk about the horny stuff anymore.
I think, I my guess is, at least the way I saw it, was the character, now that he is having sort of like basic human needs fulfilled, like shelter and food, and gets to kiss a girl for the first time in his life, and spoilers, he gets to touch a boob, which is why I recommended the show always. That's why I like it.
CJ, you're that people.
Yeah, it's me. I'm the fan.
Where's the body pillow, CJ?
Yeah. It's off camera. He gets it. And so I think once the basic human needs are fulfilled, then he can sort of move on from that. But like, not to defend the horny behavior, but I think like when you look at the character of like, he was born into debt. He has to basically fend for himself. He doesn't have any sort of support system. He is scraping by killing devils and then like selling the bodies to people for money, and is barely getting any money from that because then he immediately has to pay it to the mafia that he's in debt for. So I think like when you look at it, that like if that were true for somebody, he has never had social interaction, doesn't have friends, doesn't have anything all of us take for granted. So I think as a like teenage boy, what did you guys want most in life? Probably to kiss a girl, like, or just to like get attention from them or anything like that at that age. And because he is like a younger guy. So not to defend the horny behavior, but like I think it is, he's just like, man, I would love to just like get to be friends with a girl and maybe get to kiss her or something. That would make my life, because up to this point it's been absolute shit.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean, the things that you say are true in terms of the plot.
Yeah. But could it be still a good show without all that? Yes.
Yeah, like, is that entertaining? Honestly, for me, the best way to kind of like reconcile it is just humor. Like, they're just being humorous. Like, they're joking, and to me, it's just like, but the joke the joke gets old real quick for me. And
parts
like,
of
conversely,
it, they're not
like,
joking. Like, there's intimate scenes that go on that are just not for jokey benefit. It's for pure horniness. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And maybe there's to kind of give them benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's something there that like is going. There's some point they're trying to make. There's some purpose to it. There's some, great insight into the human condition and whatever. Cool, but it's like it's just a bit too much, and it's to me it's like, to me I can't watch those parts without thinking about the fact that one of my favorite like pastimes, like watching anime, has been for the last some could argue forever, but they're wrong, but for just like a long time, that this horniness has become such a staple that you can't get out of it. It's also exactly why I'm such a big fan of One Punch Man.
Love that show.
Because yeah, sure, they have their characters that are anatomically impossible, but like it's never a point. It's never a plot point. It's never a thing. It's just a drawing. It's just whatever. So it's just it to me, the horniness of the show really. I mean, fuck, man, we've spent all this time talking about it, and we haven't talked about much of the really good, cool parts of the show, which is For a shonen, it's got an interesting setup. It's got interesting characters and characterizations. It's got really, really good action and violence and gore for the people who correctly think that shit is dope. And yet, like, what I would leave an episode, like, dude, I would leave an episode feeling icky. Like I didn't love that. I didn't love that about it. But once you get like halfway through that first season, or again, Ken, 3/4 of the way through that first season, like, and they drop it, all of a sudden I'm realized, like, fuck, man, I'm enjoying this show a ton more. Like, I don't have to think about this, and I don't have to like cringe at it anymore. Just like, give me the action, give me the drama, give me the setup, give me the character growth and arc, God forbid.
Yeah.
Now, to back up just a little bit, people like CJ may not know what shonen means, but of course I do. For our listeners, maybe you could fill us in with on what that might mean in terms of anime.
Well, if I'm being honest, I know what it like literally means. Not at all, but like shonen is that. I think it almost maybe literally means like boy, and it's like for boys, boy anime. But it's shonen is action animes. Like, so your Dragon Ball Z's, your fucking Bleach, Chainsaw Man, like all that action stuff is shonen.
Got it. Thank you. That was helpful for CJ.
Yeah,
and I think that a lot of them, when they're mangas, premiere, like one of the biggest manga publications, I think, is called Shonen Jump.
Yes, that's actually when I was doing research for trivia, which, by the way, there's not a lot of because this is an ongoing thing. But
because he only looked up the trivia for 9 of the 13 episodes, 12 or 13 episodes.
Yeah, I cut it off at episode 10. I don't even know where I was going with that. Anyway.
Thank you for explaining it in a way my horny brain could understand.
Listen, I'm going to continue this rant a little bit just because, like, the positive thing that came out of this is it started like I was saying, it started reminding me of the first things that attracted me to anime, like the shit where I'd like never seen it before. And in that last episode where we were talking about Evangelion and stuff, to me, like, Evangelion is like one example of taking this art form to like a pinnacle where you're taking all of these elements, including horny elements. I'm not going to deny
very horny.
that it's not very horny.
It's not nearly as horny.
It just
overtly
acknowledges the existence of horniness.
The main character literally masturbates in one of the scenes.
Listen, man, if that's what makes you horny, we got to have a talk.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not aimed to make the viewer horny.
I mean, like even that was put in as a fuck you to the fans, as a fuck you to the horny fans, and it's supposed to be gross and disturbing. I'm not saying you have to like it or whatever, like, it's just that thing. But yeah, like the action and all this stuff, and even the juxtaposition made me think about it. And so when I was on that last episode, we talked a little bit about Gurren Lagann, another anime series. So then I went and rewatched that whole fucking thing. And then that made me think about Macross, this like classic anime series. In the US, it was released for a bit as Robotech. In Japan, it was called Macross. There's like a million different series that came from it. But I'll tell you this, it's notable because the people who created it went on to go create Transformers. And so it's sort of like a proto Transformers. And it's mecha, it's outer space. There's always a love triangle that exists. It's not a horny love triangle. It's a some would argue
horny at anything. All right.
I know.
Triangles, so horny.
The triangle.
So pointy.
What a sensual. I appreciate that about the show, and that it just kind of like reminded me of all of that, which I know is not like directly built in, but it just kind of goes. It also went back to just remind me of like, yeah, it's the horniness has crept up and crept in a little bit more directly. Has there always been anime bullshit? Yeah. Has the Japanese culture, Japanese anime been able to like explore these things and kind of just like flippantly put it in and it not be a big deal? Yeah. The fact that it's in and kind of like seemingly doesn't add to the story, that's the part that like they're focusing on it, and it doesn't really seem to add to the story for me. That's the thing that bothers me with it.
Yeah.
And I realize we spent like all this time talking about horniness in anime, but I mean, I cannot wait for how you guys describe this episode because of it.
That's great, because we only have time for trivia. So,
no, like, you know, when you do like your little description, like,
yeah,
I wonder, like, do you broach the subject of like, let's talk about horniness in anime?
I feel like the word horny has to be in it. And apologies to our viewer or listeners who had to listen to us say horny 1,500 times on this episode. But
Danny returns to the show to talk about boobs and kissing and girls.
Damn it, Danny.
God, listen, next time we are going to talk about like the most we're going to talk about like Stephen Hawking's A Brief History of Time or some shit. Like,
love that. Legitimately.
We're gonna de-escalate cool. This shit as much as possible.
My man, Stephen Hawking.
R.I.P.
He's already getting horny.
Yeah.
Damn it, CJ.
Did you know that Stephen Hawking divorced his wife and married his caretaker?
I did know that.
Yeah. Want to know why? Because he was horny.
Hey, we're all flawed. Trivia, Ken, you were saying?
Yeah. It's time for trivia. Hey, did you know that? Which is, that. So, this is the part of which we pit our guests and CJ head-to-head to see who knows the most about what we watch. But as I alluded to earlier, not a whole lot out there for this. So, it's going to be like 2 questions. So, buckle up. You 2 ready?
Ready. Yeah.
First question. In what year did the first issue of the manga release?
No idea.
2011. What year is it now? I see. I was gonna say something. I was gonna go a little sooner, man. I'm gonna say like 2019.
2019 is much closer. 2018 is the correct answer. So, Danny, you get the point.
It's fairly new. Okay.
Yeah.
They've got like a pretty tight pipeline of like the manga comes out, it does well, they almost like immediately go into production.
Smart.
They've had like 13 volumes of this manga already, and I don't know how the anime ends and if there will be a second season. I kind of expected there to, but the way you guys hinted at some definitive clear endings to this season make me worried. But anyway, we'll get to that when I watch it, I guess. Not now. Please don't tell me. Next question. Final question. What is the Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter score in percentage? Closest without going over. For those who don't know, is the critic score on Rotten Tomatoes. Danny, since you're in the lead, you go first.
That wide lead.
I really couldn't find much.
1 point.
I couldn't find much at all.
I just want you to know I purposely didn't look up shit to like leave this in even playing field. Now I wish I had.
Yeah, you should have. Yeah.
I would have quizzed
with 2 points.
Yeah.
Could have talked about something other than horniness.
Rotten Tomatoes, so it's the critic score, yeah?
Correct.
Yes.
85%.
Okay.
Ooh.
CJ?
I think that's a pretty good guess. Do I think? I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt because I really liked it, so I'll do 86.
CJ, like you get the point. It was 97% though.
Hell yeah!
Shit.
Yeah.
What? Yo, all y'all anime reviewers out there, y'all horny. Y'all horny.
That's right. Got my keyboard out.
Jesus Christ. All right, so we're all tied up. So that's it. No, just kidding. I got tiebreaker.
I would just give it to CJ because before we started taping this, he actually knew the names of the characters.
He had it in front of him, though, to be fair.
Oh, did you? Okay, then never mind. I take that back.
All right, here's the tiebreaker. And to make it fair, I want y'all to type into the Zoom chat what your choice is on the count of 3.
Just to you or to everyone?
Yeah, if you can do just to me, that'd be perfect.
Yeah.
And the question is, what is the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes for Chainsaw Man?
Ooh. All right.
Wow. Okay. So I'll read the answers now. That Danny said 99% and CJ said 97%. And the correct answer is 89%.
What?
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
But that makes CJ our winner. Congratulations.
Hey! Congratulations.
But yeah, much less. I think some people might have been put off by the horniness.
That's really the only thing it could be.
Yeah. Right?
Otherwise, a perfect show.
Kind of like, dude, if they didn't have the horniness, if they had just had like a different relation between characters, maybe be the new Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yes. I know what that is.
It's good. You'll like it. You'll
Okay.
check it out.
I started watching, before we get to reviews, I started watching Demon Slayer, which is not horny at all.
It's not.
And it's okay. It's not as cool
Oh,
or actiony, but it's okay. I'm not that far into it too. So
it is horny, just not in a way that you would recognize, and that's good for you.
What?
That's good for you.
Bad for me. I won't watch it.
I don't think this is the way that I don't think, CJ, you take it this way, but let me just put it this way. I have noticed that on the internet, there's a certain population of people who find the fact or the existence of a cute girl who is bound at the mouth and lives in a box quite
come
appealing.
on.
No.
What?
Humans are the worst.
Yeah.
Humans are the worst.
Okay. I hope not intentionally horny, then, I guess is the way I'll phrase it.
I
But
don't
maybe
think-
that's not even true. Jesus Christ.
I don't think it was intentionally horny, but then like I think maybe they should have known better.
Yeah, that's not great.
But can I ask you guys a question real quick? And maybe we talked about it before. What was the first anime show, movie show, whatever? What's the first anime that you remember seeing?
Death Note.
Really?
I got into it, late, but not as late as CJ, I think. But yeah, Death Note.
Like just when it was on, what was it on, Netflix?
Netflix. Yep.
But Ken, you didn't watch like my mind went to Dragon Ball Z when we were younger. You didn't watch any of that?
Or even like
Then Pokemon.
Pokemon kind of like
Pokemon.
Studio Ghibli stuff.
Yeah, Pokemon, Digimon, Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, I didn't even really get into Dragon Ball Z until college. But yeah, I guess Pokemon would be it then. Yeah.
I used to
What about
watch.
you, Danny?
I used to watch the Pokemon TV show in the mornings before high school.
Nice.
And let me tell you, not a lot of people in high school were watching Pokemon. It's definitely not something I would tell people about. But I was like that first season of Pokemon, I don't think it ever got better than that.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like I know that there were some shows like when I was a kid, shows like Transformers, which were like anime adjacent.
Yeah, Beast Wars. That like cool
no,
animation style.
I mean, that was cool, but like I'm talking the original. I'm pretty old.
Actually, really quick, you mentioned Transformers. They're making a Beast Wars movie. I'm very
They
excited.
are.
Yeah.
Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah.
But I think there was some point in like junior high where like either it was like local cable access channels or like local UHF channels or something like that would have like late on Fridays or Saturdays like show clips or portions of anime movies and shows, and that's when I was like first like whoa, like, and some of them I don't remember, some of them I remember, like Dune Megalopolis, which if you ever see is inappropriate for television in almost any regard, or like Fist of the North Star reruns and stuff like that. Those super dope shit. Ken, in our D&D game, my character is basically the main guy from Fist of the North Star.
Oh, okay. Nice. Isn't your D&D's character's last name Morningstar? Is that right? Or is that
No,
something
it's
else?
Aaron Kaka,
Oh, God. Yeah,
which
that's
was
right.
which
You wanna
was
fill in our
the
listeners?
hint, which was the hint to everyone that he's a bird transformed into a human
Yes.
or
So
a
good.
half elf or whatever he is. I don't know.
That's a great name.
Aaron Kaka.
Did you say it like that every time? I hope so.
I do often.
Good.
Yes. All right. Well, I think it's time for ratings.
You've heard us debating. We know you've been waiting. So now it's time to hear our ratings.
Danny, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you rate Chainsaw Man for you, with and without horniness?
Oh, yeah, that's the struggle. Like, I gotta tell you, without like a 9,
Hell yeah.
Okay.
with this just fits with a 6, and I'm sure if you put together those numbers,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'll see something there. But I just think it's accurate. Like, if the next season they come out with kind of drops the whole horny angle, then I'd be willing to like bump up the whole thing
There's
accordingly.
a next season?
If there's got to be, it's a
hopefully.
hugely
Okay.
popular thing.
Okay, cool.
But it just the first half of it just gets so cringy for me that it just made it so painful to watch. Or like Steph would come down or overhear President be like what is this? I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Like don't. This is CJ's thing, not me.
Yeah, CJ chose it. He's kind of sick. So 6? We're putting you down for a 6 in the ratings book?
Putting me down for a 6, man.
Wow.
And a 6 I'm not even happy about. I want to give it more points.
Dang.
Wow. Okay. CJ.
The horniness is a plus for me, so it's a 9, I think.
Nice.
So you might say without it, it would be a 6. And with it, it's
right.
a 9.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah, 9. I loved it. It was great. It was also, if anyone out there is interested and wants to do like the watch along thing, just message me or whatever, and I'll tell you how to find that podcast. But it was so fun to watch it episode by episode and hear people discuss each one. And I loved everyone. All the episodes are mostly like cliffhangers. The characters evolve. It all leads up to like a big thing. It's great. Highly recommend it. And if you're like, hey, where do I watch this thing? I bought it on Amazon Prime. I think the whole season was like $10 or $15, which is like the price of a movie ticket nowadays. So you can watch the whole thing on there.
I can recommend a more economical approach. They have a free trial of Crunchyroll.
There you go.
If you just do that, then you get a 2-week free trial, and you can for sure watch it within that time period. So, all right. So a 9 for Siege. For me, you know what? If I hadn't been watching this mostly on an airplane, the horniness wouldn't have bothered me nearly as much. But
oh boy,
you were sitting next to your mom.
No, luckily no. So it was like I was going to Egypt, and so I had my own like little pod. So it wasn't as bad as it sounds, but it was still kind of awkward because I'm in public. But I don't know. It was weird.
All you
I
need
don't
is
know,
one
I'm just
guy
kind of
passing by and be like,
right.
There's another fucking weeb watching hentai while he flies.
Exactly is what I was worried about. But it's still a really cool anime. Yeah, really, really cool. And I apparently haven't finished it. I got more to watch. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to give it like a 8, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Be curious to hear if your score changes even a little bit after finishing it, because it really ramps up the last couple episodes too.
Cool. I'm excited.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Danny, thank you for joining us. As always,
thank you guys.
To have you back on.
Good conversation. I got to tell you, I struggled with this one. Like, I wrestled with my opinion on it, and but I mean, I appreciate having the conversation and having a reason to watch through it all and stuff. And I'll be back, man. I'll be back for season 2 for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Continue doing great stuff. Continue appeasing your overlords and whatnot. And I just hope things work out just excellently between you and your stalker.
Thank you. Yeah, I hope so too.
At least they're nice. I mean, they think you're cute.
They're very complimentary.
It could be worse.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're horny.
Yeah, they gave Chainsaw Man a straight 10.
I mean, their emails seem a bit thirsty, if I'm being honest. But yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Kind of thirsty, but we'll see. You know what's something I just noticed about the emails? They're from 2 separate email addresses.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the first set is from one email address, and the other is from another email address.
Well, that's just smart, because you don't want to get blocked or traced or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they thought we blocked the first ones, and then
because we didn't reply for like
get
half
through
a
our
month.
Filter, right? Anyway, CJ, what do we got to plug here?
You can follow us on all the things that we're talking about. Call or text us at USACat1591. Email us like actor Wayne Knight did, and tell Ken he's cute. Go to our website, overtalkingabout.party. You can type in the word Danny, find all of his previous episodes. They're all great.
And no, they're here.
Oh shit, guys, I'm out.
Yeah, it's pretty scary. Oh, they have chainsaws.
Oh,
okay. Wow. Yeah, very menacingly. Here's to remind me to remind you, if you like the show, please go on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Okay. And rate and review. Reviews are to help people find this podcast. Also, we spend no money in advertising. I'm going as fast as I can.
They're really revving it in your face.
And spread the word. We really need people to listen to this. Okay, thank you. That's it. And as we always say...
Oh, he's shifting gears in his chainsaw.
That's good.
Wow.
Bye.
This episode of the Overtalking Podcast was produced by Ken and CJ, edited by CJ. This week's special guest was Danny. Music by Justin Peters. Logo by Nate Richards. Check out Nate's work on Instagram @NateRichardsDesigns.